steak for supper.
You know,
When I'm all by myself and there isn't a crowd, I guess that I sometimes get thinking out loud. And I guess I was talking while steering my feet on the way home for supper down Mulberry Street. And I must have been thinking about what I would eat, because I shouted out loud with all of my might that we always have steak every Saturday night. My father had warned me, "Don't babble, don't bray, for you never can tell who might hear what you say." My father had warned me, "Boy, button your lip." And I guess that I should have. I made a bad slip. 'Cause the minute I said we had steak for our meal, I noticed an Ika behind at my heel. And that Ika was trailing me home for a bite of the steak that we have every Saturday night. I got sort of worried. Our steaks are quite small, and we had none to spare for that Ika at all. Then I really got worried. The next thing I knew, the Ika was talking and babbling too. That Ika was waving his wing at a Gritch. "Come on," he was calling. "They're terribly rich. They've plenty of steak, and they'll cook it just right, 'cause they always have steak every Saturday night." Then the Gritch started giving the "come along" sign, inviting a Grickle to get in the line. "Join up," called the Gritch, "for I'm sure they'll be able to set one more place at their dining room table." An Ika, a Gritch, and a Grickle to feed. My mother, I knew, would be angry indeed, and I groaned, and I knew that I hadn't been bright when I bragged we had steak every Saturday night. And then the Grickle called out to a Nupper, "They always have steak for their Saturday supper." Good gracious, I gasped, how the news gets around, and steak so expensive, $1 a pound. A Nupper for supper, a Gritch and a Grickle, and also an Ika. Oh boy, what a pickle. I shivered. I wondered what Father would do when I walked in the house with that terrible crew. When Father saw them, there's a very good chance that I'd likely get whaled on the seat of my pants. And I guess if I did, it would serve me quite right, 'cause I blabbed we had steak every Saturday night. And the very next second I groaned, "Oh, good grief," when the Nupper called out to a pair of wild weef, "Come on, you wild weef, what a party we'll make! For Saturday supper they always have steak." What a mess! 2 wild weef and a Nupper, an Ika, a Gritch, and a Grickle. I'd never felt sicker. I knew that the minute I walked through the door, my mother would faint and my father would roar. And tomorrow they'd send me to one of those schools where they try to train boys how to not act like fools. I reached for the doorknob and trembled with fright, all because I'd said, "Steak every Saturday night." I opened the door, then I stopped with a sniff. I smelled what was cooking. I took a big whiff. The Ika stopped also and sniffed at that smell, and so did the weef and the Nupper as well. The Gritch and the Grickle, they stopped and sniffed too. And the moment we sniffed it, we all of us knew that the stuff that we sniffed wasn't steak. It was stew. The butcher who sent it had made a mistake, For Saturday supper, we didn't have steak. Just stew, gulped the Grickle. Just stew? Pooh, I say. If they only have stew, I don't think I will stay. Stew? They all snorted out loud in disgust, and they all disappeared in a big cloud of dust. What luck! I stood safe, all alone in the hall. My mother and Dad hadn't seen them at all. And from that night to this, I have never made slips. I don't talk when I walk, 'cause I've buttoned my lips.